All right, we're going to go back to the questions in just a minute, but now we would like to welcome our friends from the Seneca Park Zoo. Dave, how are you, Dave?
Welcome, Dave.
Hi.
Pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks for coming in.
Yeah. We have a pancake tortoise.
Excellent.
Okay, what's the difference between a turtle and a tortoise?
Well, the difference between a turtle and a tortoise is pretty fundamental. One of which is you can see that our pancake tortoise here is walking around, well, moving around-ish a little bit on land. Turtles will normally not be out of water for too long. They need lots of water to make sure they can find lots of different food for them to eat.
Okay.
This guy will eat mostly just grasses, and he can mostly get around just on land.
Nice. So where is the pancake tortoise from?
This is an African tortoise, mostly sub-Saharan, meaning at the most southern tip of Africa.
Okay.
And she lives in a very, very warm place with lots of other predators around.
So I'm sorry.
Okay, so the type of habitat, you said warm, South American.
Very warm. See now, when
Must have loved this summer.
she does love the summer. Yes, she did love the summer. She's also from an area, so it's a kind of an in-between area between the desert and the shrubland in Africa.
Okay.
So it's going to have little shrubs all over.
So you mentioned that these are herbivores or omnivores?
These are herbivores. So these
Strictly.
guys, they could be omnivores if they were in contact with that kind of food source. Most of the time, they're only going to find plants.
So an herbivore is just plants, and an omnivore could be insects?
Everything, yes.
Okay.
It'll be insects, meat, plants, whatever it has availability to. And we're omnivores also. So.
Okay.
So they like a salad.
Yes.
Okay, do these tortoises hibernate?
She does not hibernate, but she does do something a little bit different. It's called aestiation, or estivation, which is a little different. It's basically hibernation in reverse. So it's from an area where, you are moving. It's from an area where that's very, very warm, and in that area, you need to kind of hide throughout the warmest of those months to make sure that she gets the available food. Because in those times, there just won't be anything out there for her to eat.
Okay.
So she'll hide under a rock, and she will lower her metabolism as low as she can, so that she doesn't need to leave for a couple months until it's a little more favorable to be outside.
What is her conservation status?
Her conservation status is vulnerable, actually. So she's on the endangered species list. She is vulnerable, which isn't as bad as others. It's past threatened, but she is on that list for a couple different reasons.
Okay.
Which is very interesting, from Africa as well.
So what are some of the biggest threats she faces?
Some of her big threats would be mostly the pet trade. A lot of people in that area, they pick up these guys, they see it as a buck. They can go use it for revenue. They can sell a lot of these pancake tortoises all over the place. As you can see, kind of easy to handle.
Sure.
Yeah.
So you can ship a lot of them out, and that's just rough because they pick the biggest, nicest ones, and then we don't have them out there for reproduction.
Right.
And also, they don't reproduce very fast, so
Okay.
it takes a long time for them to have any kind of progeny in any resort. So because of that, it's just not good if we remove them from the wild. Then we won't actually have them out there for reproduction.
So is that part of the reason why they're listed as, you said, priority?
They're vulnerable. They're vulnerable. Yes, so they're not quite endangered. No, they're not all the way towards that endangered status, but they are on the list and we're watching. So
See, and as a science teacher, I just forget that there might be other levels. You always hear of just endangered species, you know?
it's a huge different spectrum of a bunch of different criteria to be on that list.
So how do their shells differ from other tortoises?
Well, she's called a pancake tortoise. That is because she is very flat.
Okay.
She's super flat, and that helps her in her environment. So she needed this flatness to survive in her environment, and it seems to have helped her. What it does is it's a little thinner than other tortoise shells, and she can actually move it in and out. Not something we can see as easily, but it does kind of expand and contract as she breathes. So when she's breathing, she can kind of move that shell in or out. It actually isn't really used for protection at all. It's only for wedging herself underneath rocks, especially for that aestiation.
Okay.
She will help herself kind of wedge under rocks, and then she'll be able to keep herself under there, especially if predators come around or something like that.
All right, well, some people think tortoises are big, like the Galapagos Island tortoises. Can you tell us a little bit about the differences between those tortoises and this one?
So the Galapagos tortoises and other larger tortoises, mostly when we think of larger tortoises, there's one African tortoise that's very large, mostly South American. They have a lot more available food. So reptiles only grow based on how much food is available. She does not have a lot of food in that area. It's very arid. It's very dry. There's not going to be a lot of vegetation around available for her to eat all the time. So because of that, she just won't get very big. And this is as big as she'll get. She's about 10 years old. So
10 years old, wow.
Yeah, she's about 10 years old. She can live to almost 40, so she is definitely a survivor.
Teenager.
She is a teenager. Yep, she's a little spunky. She's moving around pretty quickly. But yes, that is the biggest difference is they just can eat more things. Galapagos is very productive.
All right, well, thank you very much.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. All right, want to know more about this animal and others like it? Go to our website, homeworkhotline.org, and click on videos. Stay right there. We'll be back in a second.